Will Taylor, it's great to have you back, mate. How are you? Back in Melbourne, back in the big smoke.
Boys, it's good to be back, but brought a little friend with me.
What have you done to yourself? Because that looks so painful.
So out of date, this chat, by the way, but...
Yeah, well...
Well, who has had the exclusive interview with Will Taylor post-ankle?
No one, actually. No one.
Well, I did.
Oh, well, yeah, Barrel...
On the Div 12 Resis.
Yeah, Barrel on the Div 12 Resis page. He door-stopped me on the couch.
I did a little injury
update. I was
update.
playing Fortnite. He got a little injury update, but the most recent update is we're getting scans and an ultrasound on it. So,
Ooh.
Wow,
I
expecting.
didn't know you did ultrasound on an ankle.
yeah, well, I went and saw a GP and I said, look, I need to see what's up with the ankle. And she goes, yeah, you're probably going to have to get an x-ray and an ultrasound. So we're going to see if my ankle's pregnant or not.
It feels like you've royally screwed the pooch here.
It has a little bit. Look, not ideal coming into round 3 of football this week, but yeah, got lots of advice from lots of different people. Jared Davis said, "Oh, I did my ankle and I kept playing." So, yeah,
He's a hero. isn't he?
Good on you, Jared.
He's an absolute hero. McDonald, mate, how are you, brother?
Yeah, good. Up and about. Monday, a public holiday, but we're coming in for overtime, I think. So,
How about them Dees, mate? You must be flying.
it clicked. I held the faith.
This sucks.
I held the faith.
This actually sucks.
Every Monday, I said, I believe it's going to click. It's going to turn. And it did on the weekend.
This actually sucks, Tails, because we had a good thing going. We had a really good sort of narrative on the pod.
Yeah.
And that is all turned to shite.
You know what? I'm happy you did it against the Dockers. I feel like they're getting a little bit too big for their boots, and Melbourne have just pegged them back. And Kozzy Pickett, what a day out he had.
I was a performance and a half. I had an annoying sort of couple of Dockers fans behind us. I don't know whether to touch on it now or touch on it
Druzy,
later.
was it?
No, Druzy wasn't behind me. There was just there's blokes in the crowd who were sort of correctors. Like anytime we'd say that's holding the ball, they'd be like, he handballed it, and like yeah.
Technically, he got possession of the football.
And they were doing it all day because there was times where there'd be a 12-metre kick and they'd say that's a mark, and then there'd be a 13-metre kick and they'd say that's play on. Because at the moment, the umpires, they don't have their measurements right.
I'm very confused.
Every time we'd go up, they'd almost correct us from behind. We don't know you. You don't want to be those guys at
Shut
the
up,
footy,
mate.
I don't think.
So your team actually lost. So
Yeah.
Technically, the Freo didn't go with the point, so shut the fuck up.
Well, there was a Saints fan behind me, and I'm a Saints fan, and we got pumped by the doggies. And he was obviously a younger kid and doesn't understand footy too much. And he's like, why are we playing zone defence? The zone defence doesn't work all day. And I was just like, mate, it's like we're not even playing zone defence. Wrestlemania yesterday, today. You guys aren't very passionate about it, but I'm passionate about it.
How was it?
Well, it's actually a 2-day event now.
What's
it's back on this morning.
what's John Cena doing today?
So he'll be on in a couple of hours.
Ooh.
So
This is his last hurrah.
this is the only. So obviously, it's a year-round sport. I don't really watch until February, March, April.
That's when it really fires up.
That's right.
Is this the one? I always get a couple of their big events mixed up. Is this where there's like 2 people in the ring at the same time and more people get introduced?
That's the Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble. All right, yeah.
So it's a couple months ago. So
Yeah,
that's,
well, yeah.
that is the.
That's
the
like
start.
Wimbledon of WWE or something. That's the real pinnacle.
That is the WrestleMania is technically the pinnacle. But a couple months before is the Royal Rumble, and if you win the Royal Rumble, you get a free chance to fight the champion.
Cody Rhodes?
No. So he is a champion, but the guy who won the Royal Rumble went for a different champion.
Is the
Wow.
is the Wolfpack still rolling around?
I don't know. I'm not familiar.
Oh,
Is that
damn
you
it.
and Trey?
No, that's not me and Trey. Trey are a different kind of pack.
Anyway, it's been a very weird week of football. We were just speaking about the D's defiant win against Fremantle, which it's just sad because that was a shoe-in for the Dockers. And if you remember, I tipped the Dockers for a flag.
Yeah, the Dockers, are we going to go into this game? Like,
I just wanted to quickly...
Just clip the Dockers?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Give them a drive-by.
They are meandering in the competition. Slow start, 0-2. Come over. That list and It's a good list, but they had a couple of outs on the weekend which made them look a little bit vulnerable. Like no Luke Jackson made Sean Darcy have to work for it. And then Pat Voss meant they looked a little bit light on in the forward line, bringing in Oscar McDonald. So their best 22, I think, can still go all the way this year. But, they're just sort of a 50-50 side at the moment.
I'd really like a please explain, and this is a great segue into the first game of the week. I'd like a please explain from the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah.
Thursday night, home crowd
Yep.
at the Gabba, and you get done by 53 points against Collingwood. And I'm not at all saying Collingwood are bad. I've tipped them for the flag. Nick Daicos had a night out, 38-1. But Brisbane, where was the second half?
Don't know, mate. I just
They're
went
supposed to
wondering.
be the people that strap their boots on for the second half. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. That was a word I found myself saying a lot yesterday evening at the Saints Dogs game. But just quickly, are the Pies seriously just like back? They're just back, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mate, I've told you so many times that they're going to do it again this year.
They're going to probably win
They're
another.
primed for the picking.
They're going to win another premiership flag.
They're going under the radar. They're very organised. Like, I love sides, like Chris Scott's Geelong sides. No matter what personnel he puts out on the park, they're all on the same page and they all know what system they're playing. And I feel like Craig McRae's got the Collingwood Footy Club really consistent across the park with their roles. And they're bringing in, like, a couple of no-names that I'm not privy to, but they just know what role they need to play. They're very organised.
Speaking of DOS,
They're very consistent.
Ned Long, again, coming with some numbers and
Yeah.
figures. A goal in 21 with just an easy 6 tackles. Thank you very much.
I saw a stat, and I know that we sometimes randomly see stats and don't fully bring them to the table, so I'll bring a half-baked take. I saw that his influence really benefits Daicos. Like, apparently Daicos plays quite well when Ned Long's in the side doing the dirty work. So just another player they've brought in that's helped the side.
So, obviously, we're the Ball Magnets pod. Tommy Mitchell was the guy doing the dirty work, and he's obviously been injured for a little while. They tried Perryman in there, and he did work early. I don't know.
Very, very chicken.
He's now on the half-back line, but he can collect if they ask him to. And now it's
And Ned's just said, that's all right.
it's our man Ned Long.
I'd like to give a shout out to the old soul Steel Sidebottom, still ticking over, 24 touches, in the top 3 players on the ground for the Pies. He just keeps showing up, going hard. He's like my 2002 Toyota Camry. He just keeps going to work, does the job, and gets it done.
Written off multiple times and just keeps rocking up.
Keeps rocking up.
Well, here's a little hypothetical for you. If the Pies were in a premiership window for the next 2 years, but you had to data list one of Pendlebury or Sidebottom, how they're playing at the moment, who would you keep? Do you keep? And do you take into account what Pendlebury's done? I mean, because Sidebottom's been there just as long. What do you do? Because Sidebottom is seriously playing like he's 25 and in his prime.
So Sidebottom
Prime energy.
right now in 2025 is a better player, but I don't think I would pull the lever on Pendles because I want to see him break the record. So I think if the hypothetical was I had to make a decision, I'd get rid of Sidey.
It is harsh either way it goes.
Oh, it's
though, isn't
brutal. They're both stalwarts of the comp.
It's like
Pendles has been
choosing a
knocked
favourite
out.
son.
But I want to see the record broken, and he's only half a season off Pendles.
And Pendles hasn't been bad or anything. Like he's been getting 20.
Nah, he's been
He hasn't
alright.
been bad. He's just had quieter games than Steel Sidebottom.
But that might
which
just be his role.
you're allowed to have quieter games.
Correct.
Like at the end of your career, you're allowed to be a little bit shitter than when you were at your peak.
Still Sidebottom, 34 years old, 26 touches, 17 of them kicks. Only had the 1 tackle, 70% efficiency. We can talk about the numbers, but he looks great.
And also, Scott Pendlebury's got a basketball background. This needs to be known.
He played basketball growing up, and that allows him to slow the game down.
Speaking of, I will just, I might even set up my phone at some point here this morning.
For WrestleMania.
Well, NBA playoffs have also started.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a big month for Bailey McCabe.
Yeah, the Denver Wizards are playing the Dallas Lakers, and
There's not many sports that work like this, and it's because the NBA is an international conglomerate. But yesterday, games is the first day of the playoffs. A game was at 3:30. There was a game at 5:30, 7:30, and 10:30, I think.
Yeah.
But there will be days over the next 6 weeks where I'm up at 4 a.m. and then I'm coming in here at 9 and I'm chucking the KO up here. So just be prepared that I might have some bags under the eyes for the next 6 weeks.
I like your commitment to the craft. Obviously, ball magnets, it's a lot of footy, but it's a lot of basketball as well. Josh Giddey, a part of the team.
He's back. He's back in Melbourne.
He's in Melbourne.
He's back. And
We couldn't, could we?
that would be hilarious, wouldn't it?
That would be funny.
Cooper Hamilton, Austin Cookson, Josh Giddey. On
Well,
the
he
Monday
knows
Magnets.
his footy. He knows his
He
footy.
does.
I reckon we get him on and we chat a bit of footy, because I think the last thing you want to do is chat a bit of basketball and talk about how the Bulls were going, and he just wants to relax.
It's funny that that's not out of the zeitgeist for us.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a bizarre world.
I'll send a message off.
Yeah, absolutely. As you should.
I will.
Add him into the group chat.
Yeah. Add him into the Instagram DM.
The Monday Magnets.
Speaking of hypotheticals, Tails, you brought us something earlier in the week and said we should bring this up on the pod. And I like it because a couple of my favourite NBA YouTuber podcasters do these sort of mock drafts for different things. And you can kind of do them for anything you want.
For those who are playing along at home, I've just driven down from Bendigo, so 2 hours in the car. I had a lot of time to think to myself. And I was thinking of a lot of people are talking about, you know, the greats of the NBA. Baz was just touching on the NBA playoffs and got me thinking towards the pointy end of the NBA, the best 5 players to play the positions of point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and centre.
That's always the question, isn't it?
That's always the question.
What's your top 5 all time?
Yeah,
Keeps
what's your
me
top
up at
5?
night sometimes.
Yeah.
Starting 5.
Starting 5. What's the best starting 5 of all time? And that got me thinking, if there was a 5, you've got to narrow it down to 5 players. So there's
Forward, a back.
a forward, a back,
ruck.
2 mids, and a ruck.
Yeah.
Cool.
In the AFL, who's your starting 5 for the AFL?
So we're gonna do a bit of a
all
draft.
time. So we're going to do a little draft.
Current in the
Yeah.
AFL.
Current, past, or
Oh,
present.
really?
anyone.
Past or present.
Past or present?
Well,
Wow.
the team that I was looking at had Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James.
True. Okay,
MJ.
fair. True, we are doing all time.
All of
So
them.
this is going to be tough because we've done no prep. And when you go into these little mock drafts, you
Yeah.
usually do a bit of prep. You usually write down your 1A, 1B.
I'd be lying if I said I had done prep, but my mind is a bit like a goldfish. It's 3 seconds and then it's gone.
And that's why we love your Tails. And we need you to bring that more often. So whip up your notes up, boys. And we're just going to do, before we get into the round review, which we love the round review. We'll get there.
Ooh.
But,
Tinder message, hang on.
who? What's her name? What's his name, maybe?
It's 2025.
No, yeah.
All right, whoever goes first is going to get the pick of the litter.
Do we want to do a number and then we get Siri to pick? So do you want to be number 1?
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Oh shit. Hey
Here you
Siri,
go, Siri.
pick a number between 1 and 3.
Siri replied like a real person.
Yes. Random number 3. So that's me.
All right.
All right.
So you get number 1. Who gets 2?
I get the first
You get
pick.
2.
Okay. But what it's going to be, we're going to do snake draft.
Because it's really going to make you think about it as
If
well.
it was easy, everyone would do it.
Guaranteed we're going to miss some people, so don't.
No, we won't.
So don't bake us in
We're going to dominate this.
All right, Tails. Pick one.
Pick number 1, I think modern greats of the game did it pretty well over a long period of time. I'm going to go with J. Ablett Jr.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's my
Excuse my French.
that's one of my midfielders.
That's a shoe-in, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is an absolute shoe-in. There's only one forward spot. And I might take Lance Franklin.
That's very good.
And I might take Lance Franklin.
It's very good.
The
Damn
Bud,
it.
The Budswa
Damn it.
is on my team. Oh, there's a couple of Lances, though. Could have taken Lance Collard. He would have been probably my next pick.
Or Lance Whitnell.
Or Lance Whitty. Yep. Watch him take
So
bloody
I-
Jim Steins.
I get.
I'm going to take Gary Lyon.
So I'm taking Dusty, but I need help with what position.
Dusty.
Because obviously you think for forward, you think key forward. So should I put Dusty in the mid?
I reckon you can put him forward.
You only get one forward spot.
Yeah. You get 2 midfield.
So I'd be thinking-
Yeah, I'm taking Dusty and I'm putting him in the mid. And then I've got my next selection.
You do. Gorney.
I feel like Gorney will still be
I'm
there.
going to pick Nathan Jones.
Harley Bennell.
Come on, Dorsal. There's a pod after.
Yeah, I'm struggling here. I'm
So many greats of the game.
going to go Patrick Dangerfield in the midfield.
What? That midfielder is going to get exposed.
Okay, well, Patrick Dangerfield has...
That is really bad.
He's been taken off the table, so that's upsetting for me.
Well, I'm just going to back it up, and I'm going to take Alex Rance as my key back. Thank you very much. I'm taking Franklin and Rance.
Okay. In good spirits, I'll also take my backman.
Good man.
I'm going to take Luke Hodge.
Wow.
Wowee.
Wow.
That's interesting.
That was very...
He's
nifty.
he's not the biggest key back, but
Is he a key back at all?
Nah, he's played taller a little
played
bit.
taller.
I don't know.
He was a gun.
I don't know. I think Lance Franklin might pip him.
Lads Franklin might pip him, but 4 flags, and he might be skipper this side.
Well, you've got another pick, Tails.
I do have another pick.
Senior.
On paper, it won't be as good, but I'm gonna go with Marcus Bontempelli.
That is, you guys are actually selling. I like Bond, but like you guys are selling the bag.
Well, it was either Bont or someone else, and he's got close ties with the BNBs.
Yeah. I'm taking Chris Judd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I can't believe you've taken Dusty. Like arguably, yeah, he's so good. But I'm taking Chris Judd. Like
I'm comfortable with Dusty. I'm not uncomfortable
Yeah.
with Dustin Martin in my midfield.
I'd be uncomfortable with Patrick Dangerfield.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's a niche. I think
it's not a niche draft though, mate. This is an all-time draft.
I think Patrick Dangerfield would be all-time one of the best midfielders ever. His skill set, his explosiveness.
His skill set.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where you're at.
I think in the comments I would get a lot of support.
I hope not, because that's bad.
Anyway, for defence, I'm going to take Matthew Scarlett.
Yeah, great pick.
Thank you, mate.
Great pick.
And do I get a little double dribble?
You get another doubly.
I'm going to take Max Gawn in the ruck.
Yeah, there's just a better rucks. But
It's just I've just taken the best ruck.
I'm going to rinse both of your sides.
okay, mate. Fucking have a crack then.
Any name you pick will not be better than mine.
I don't know.
Dean Cox.
Fuck.
Doesn't quite cut
I'd
the
probably
mustard.
take Dean Cox.
That was going to be my pick.
Dean Cox in my side. I've got one pick to go. Have we all got one pick?
Yeah.
The man tapping it down to these mighty men is going to be none other than Aaron Sandilands.
Yeah. That's great. He's just the big boy, isn't he?
He's
The
big boy.
big boy.
My key forward, Tony Lockett.
Yeah, great pick.
Yeah, nice.
He's got the goals for the reason.
Good pick. It's a good pick.
1,300, baby.
I think I'm tossing up between Goods and Buckley.
Dylan.
Yeah, correct. And I've got Judd, who can run all day. Probably slightly less contested of a midfielder. I'm going to take Adam Goods. Yay! I'm taking Adam Goods.
Yeah, great.
Jeez.
And you have one pick to go.
I'm going to take Wayne Carey.
That is...
The
that's,
duck.
say that is controversial. I wasn't going to say he was on the board.
If he's not on the board, I can
No. He's definitely on the board.
Yeah.
I was just going off footy ability.
Yeah.
And you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne Carey's up there.
Tails, your starting five is...
Yeah, true. I'll start off with mine. All right, the Shinbone Boner boys. We are
Is that your
Yeah.
your team name?
so our backman is Luke Hodge. Our mids are Abler Jr. and Bontempelli. Our
Wow.
ruck is Aaron Sandilands. Our key forward is Tony Lockett, and the
very-
skipper is Luke Hodge.
Very good.
It's hard to beat.
Very good.
It's hard to
Dussel.
beat. Matthew Scarlett in defence, Patrick Dangerfield in the midfield, Dusty in the midfield, Max Gawn's our ruck, and Wayne Carey's my forward.
It's very good. That is very good. My back is Alex Rance. My forward is Buddy Franklin. My two mids are Chris Judd and Adam Goods. And my ruck is Dean Cox.
It's very good. It's
All
very
right,
good.
All right, so up to the comments to decide.
I reckon we could play a NAB challenge, like a NAB Cup game where all three of the teams play each other once. And we
Do you reckon we could sort that out? We can get all the boys down?
I reckon, yeah, we'll get the boys
The
down.
Monday Magnets round robin?
Yeah.
We'll get AIA onto it. And
Yeah, round robin. Yeah, all right. So leave your suggestions in the comments. Who did we miss? What did we stuff up? And who wins that little round robin in a little half-court 3-on-3 style?
I reckon Dick Reynolds was tough to miss.
Ted Whitten, stiff.
Ted Win,
Incredibly
massively
stiff. Lee Matthews,
Trevor Barker.
still on the board.
Let's get back into this Lions Collingwood game. Did we all watch it? We should have all watched it.
It was on. It was certainly on.
Um,
How's the bump on Nick Daicos?
Nick Daicos is arguably, well, people say he's a softie and he just can't, he doesn't like contested footy. True fact, he doesn't have a contested mark to his name in his AFL career,
yeah, I did know that. Yeah.
Really?
but
As
he
if
goes
hasn't,
in
like-
hard for the contested footy. Because when you think about it, contested mark, it's usually the big key backs flying over the top and taking a big clunk or a key forward trying to
Yeah.
outbody someone. Nick Daicos just hasn't done it, and that's not his role. So at the end of the day, when people go,
Oh, he hasn't got a contested mark. He hasn't got a contested.
well, hey, it's not his role in the game.
I don't watch Nick Daicos and think, he's shirked that or hasn't gone in there. Like, I think he's obviously an outside, hard-running, pacey midfielder. But when he's obligated to go, he goes. And I know that it feels like tall poppy syndrome. Like, people just want to bring him down for one area of his game where he's elite in handball, elite in kicking, elite kicking accuracy, and he might be average for AFL for contested possessions. But being average in the AFL for contested possessions still means you're putting your body on the line against some of the biggest blokes in Australia.
It gets me so horny when he arches his back
Yeah.
and just starts running because not many people in the game are catching him. He just arches the back, squeezes the bum in a little bit, and he just takes off.
Yeah,
And there's no one catching him.
There's always going to, like, if you're that good, there's always going to be people trying to find that 1% problem or just staying on your game. And that's just how sport is.
Yeah.
And that's how sport discussion is. So,
But it's just funny because he's pretty well the perfect footballer.
correct. And some people, like, I made an outrageous call about Bont during the week. And he came out against St Kilda and said, Bailey McCabe, eat your words, even though he'd never heard the words because I didn't say them on the public forum. However, I said, in a roundabout way that Nick Daicos is better than Bontempelli. And I think Nick Daicos, when it's said and done, is going to be a much better footballer. I mean, a much better might be harsh or whatever, but I think Nick Daicos is going to be a better, more accomplished footballer than Marcus Bontempelli is.
Cop that Bont.
So,
technically,
anyway,
yeah.
but what I am going to say is Nick Daicos has been getting tagged every week this year.
Yeah.
And he's still getting 35 every week.
Yep.
He's still getting 35 touches. He had 38 against the Lions, and he was getting a lot of attention.
He broke the record for Brownlow votes last season, but came second.
Unfortunately, Paddy Cripps also did.
So he's just, the trajectory that he's on. He probably should have, arguably one, if not two Brownlows already. And he's in his 4th or 5th years. It's
I'm not stressed.
It's Nick Daicos' world, and we're all living in it.
I'm not stressed. I think how many?
He's doing
will he
TikTok
end up
vlogs
with?
at the moment as well.
Can
And they're
we-
Great.
Have a bet, a little punt on, not a punt, but just how many Brownlows is Daicos going to finish with it, but when his career's over?
I just feel like getting more than 2 feels almost impossible, but I think he'll get 2 and get close. Well, he's already been close for that 3rd.
Or
But
with voters fatigue, or
yeah. He'll get 2. Dakes will get 2.
I reckon he'll get 3.
he could
Wow.
get 3 as
I reckon he'll
well.
get
3.
3. There might be a period in the future.
Harley Reid.
Yeah, but there might be a period in the future where Collingwood are just, and this is hypothetically in the future, they're Collingwood as a team is underperforming, but Daicos is just at the peak of his powers.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's getting 38, kicking 1 every week in
Yeah.
a side that's just scraping into the 8, and he's just carrying the whole side, and that's when he'll win the Brownlows.
Who else is a shoe? Who else is young,
Harley Reid.
dominating? Do you think Harley
Jason
Reid?
Horne-Francis.
I love Horn Francis. He's definitely got the ability to win one for sure. He was great on the weekend again, by the way.
Who else?
I don't know.
Do we think Isaiah Dudley wins a Brownlow?
He'd be
For
close.
the Fremantle Dockers.
He'd be bloody close.
I love Dudley. Sam Lawler. He's clean. He's
When Josh Smiley is not injury riddled with 195 centimetres, being a 195 centimetre midfielder, do you reckon he wins a Brownlow?
the blonde hair just flopping about. Big chance.
Well, we haven't even seen him play a game yet, so
Yeah,
Well,
so it's all hypothetical at the moment.
so it is all hypothetical.
And I've said yes.
Pat
It's a fun game.
Pat Lipinski might snag one. Double trouble magic on Friday. North Melbourne, Carlton. The Blues are back. No, they're not.
I think they are.
No, they're not.
think they are.
They beat North Melbourne.
Yeah, I know, but they weren't far away when they were 0-4.
Doss, you don't have to be nice just because you're being nice.
Yeah.
You don't, like, they've beaten no one.
Tommy Mitchell came in here before Collingwood played Carlton, and he said, "I've done oppo analysis for the boys," and he said
Against West Coast?
no for
the
Collingwood
game.
Carlton, and Tommy goes, Carlton are like number one in a lot of areas, like clearance, time in forward half. He goes, they're doing a lot right, but they're just not being able to put it on the scoreboard. And I know the opposition has been pretty lowly that they've versed, but it feels like they're starting to get their game back a little bit. And we've seen in previous years, you don't have to start well in the season to then have a good season. Like Hawthorn last year were 0-5, Lions were 0-4. So I just feel like they've had some good opposition to find their game back and potentially propel themselves for the rest of the year. I'm not buying stocks, but I'm just sort of watching it at the moment.
Jeez, I can't buy into it.
I don't think there's an argument to be had that if they're back or not. They're not back. They've beaten North Melbourne and West Coast.
They got
It's
Geelong
great.
this Sunday.
It's great that they've... Jeez, mate.
That'll be an audit. Geelong, Sunday, MCG.
Geelong will be a true test of their character. If they can play well or beat Geelong, then I'll start looking at the stock.
I reckon the Baggers beat Geelong next Sunday.
Wow.
They are back.
Where is it?
MCG.
Marnigar.
Do you want to put something on that?
No.
So why'd you say it?
Content.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason, isn't it?
I'll put a coffee on it. I'll put a toasty.
Yeah, all right, toasty, done. But,
Can't Baggers.
you know, as I've said multiple times this season, you can only beat and play who's in front of you. So, to be fair to them,
And they've throttled them.
yeah, as they should. As they should. I
So
asked...
the umpires throttled North Melbourne in the second quarter.
Did they?
Yeah.
What were those stats?
Well, the free kick stats weren't crazy, but the lack of skill that North Melbourne showed, and then the umpires just kicking them while they were
No,
down,
it wasn't great, Tails.
didn't help.
17 to 29 free kicks.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, kicking them while
Fair.
they were down. So good on the green team.
George Hewitt showed up again in a
George
big
Hewitt.
way. And Paddy Cripps won out in the square at times. And he was getting burned, by the way.
Cripper.
Cripper was leading in all directions.
It's crazy that George Hewitt's like their fourth or fifth option in the midfield.
You said that last week.
Yeah, I was saying that. I said their depth. I said in every position they've got high level talent that goes sort of 2 or 3 spots down. Like in most teams, they'll have like a gun key forward, but the Blues have 2. Most teams have a ready-made, ready-to-go ruck, but the Blues have 2. Most teams have one midfielder that sort of stands out. The Blues have 3 names, like I'd say Cripper, Walsh, Chera, and then it almost bats as deeply as Hewitt at the moment, which is
Akers.
crazy. Like when you're getting that much out of your 4th string midfielder, it feels like you've got the depth.
But we've known he could do that for a long, long time. And that's why they got rid of Kennedy.
I think he's only played 200 games.
I'll do a little
George
check
Hewitt,
for
he's
you.
been around for a long time.
29 years old. He has played 185 games. So if he finishes off the year and playing every game, he'll have his 200th. So that'll be a big celebration on the Monday Magnets.
I will get around it because George Hewitt has a similar last name to Leighton.
True. He's a really likeable character for me.
Oh, he's just no fuss, goes about his business, big contested body.
21 contested possessions
Oh my goodness.
on 82% efficiency. and only 3 turnovers off of his 34.
He'd be leading their best and fairest right now.
Probably.
Yeah.
He could
He's
be.
been really good.
Chera also stood up. That was his best game for the year. 1-1-28. Great to say that. Interesting one. Luke Davies-Uniacke had 25, and we love the fantasy. Not the fantasy stats. But this has got to be one of the lowest, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for 25 touches, LDU, 71 fantasy. So there's got to
How
be
does
a
that
reason.
work? Just handballs.
68%, 14 handballs, 11 kicks, non-contested,
Oh, they've got that wrong.
5 turnovers, only 3 score involvements. I don't know. 4 clearances. Seems quite low though
Yeah, very low. That,
for a 25 disposal.
I'd take a little
game.
25-piece game.
But then Harry Sheasel 32. I do think George Hewitt is going to be our AIA Vitality Player of the Week
Wow.
at some stage
Oh.
in the year.
Yeah.
He was not today. Moving on to Friday night, West Coast Essendon, which was a ball burster.
It was good.
I wanted
West Coast should have won.
I wanted the Coasters.
They should have won.
I wanted the
Nah,
Coasters
fuck
to
'em.
get up.
Fuck him.
Sammy Draper,
Free my boy Drapes.
free the boy.
Free my boy.
Can you just? You're close with Drapes.
I don't want to cry on the pod, but we'll keep it tame. But the fact that Essendon needed him to stand up after Nick Bryan had done his ACL or his ACL the last week. It was his first week of playing a bit more full time as a ruckman, letting 2 metre Peter sort of do his thing down the forward line. He was the 4th highest rated Essendon player on the field, 5th highest rated player from both teams. And then to go down like that, in contract year as well, I mean, it's just, so sad.
It is frustrating. And
frustrating.
he's been looking so good. Like he's looked at the fittest he's been.
Physically, presented as well as we've ever seen.
Yeah.
You could just see, in that interview as well, when he was getting his scans, just how defeated he looked. And, he was, he was just saying, it was my fittest I've been. It's the best I've gone into a year.
Yeah.
And then for it to end like that is
Played
just
great
fucked.
that game as well.
Oh, played beautifully.
So disappointing. Is there a diagnosis?
Achilles.
It's ruptured.
And he's going to have surgery on it.
So that's the season.
That's the season.
That's so shit.
Yeah.
That sucks for Essendon. That probably makes it real tough for them for the rest of the year.
Goldie's coming in, though.
Goldie, we love Goldie.
He's a veteran.
Is this the last roll of the dice for Todd?
Well, I feel like he's like a hermit that just can hang around as long as he wants. But he's going to have to carry a bigger load than what he would have thought coming into the
He's
season.
no Tom Campbell. He's no cockroach. Just hang around like a bad smell. But I reckon Todd Goldstein could just keep chipping away. He could get a 40-piece of hit-outs.
He's had the most hit-outs ever,
Yeah.
I think, Todd Goldstein.
He could
Really?
Yeah.
That's a great
hit
stat.
10,000 hit-outs last year.
Wow.
Todd Goldstein, for a 3 or 4 year patch before Gorn blossomed, was the best ruckman by a mile.
Is that because there wasn't many options? Or was that just because he was...
Yeah, it was
fine?
sort of post-Sanderlands, pre-Gorn. It was Goldie time.
Yeah.
It was the Goldie era.
2 metre Peter's gone out and kicked 6, which was huge. Stepped up in a big way, and they needed him to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's good to have him back. I reckon even though Sam Draper did a job while he wasn't there, it's good to have Peter Wright back in the forward line. He'll be a good chop-out ruck for Goldie when he comes in the side.
And someone that has been probably listening to Monday Magnets, probably not actually, that's just me being silly, Dylan Shield, because earlier in the year, actually in the pre-season, and maybe this is just me not watching Dylan Shield closely enough for long enough, or maybe it's just a recency thing that he's getting a bit older, but I said in the pre-season that Dylan Shield may not have been the fastest of midfielders. On the weekend, he burnt guys. He was sprinting through
He's
the
always been
guts.
rapid.
And he was
Yeah.
rapid. And so maybe I missed. That was my fault, and I'll come out here and apologise. Dylan Shield is rapid, and he's getting older, and he's
Yeah, well, at
still
this
there.
age, to still have the speed. At the Giants, he was line breaking, pretty quick. But his foot skills have always been a bit of a knock. But I feel like at the half back line, he's been using it a little bit better this year.
This is a call from me. I think Jack Graham and Liam Baker are settling in nicely now. I think they struggled to kind of adapt. Obviously, just a completely different situation to what they have been in their whole career. They kind of walked into success. Jack Graham's first year was 2017. I think Bake's first year was 2018. So they've walked into success. They're obviously gun players, but walked into successful sides with successful coaching. And so probably a tough pill to swallow going down to Perth.
Yeah, they knew what they were signing up for. They get to go home, live at the beach. They've got great facilities over there for West Coast.
Well,
And
Jack Graham's South Australian.
I thought he was going home.
Liam Baker went home.
I thought
Jack Graham, South Australian.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, what's he done that for?
Don't know.
Cash.
Yeah, Cashy.
Yeah, well.
There's always a couple.
Yeah.
But happy for those blokes because they seem like they're getting comfortable. And, you know, if they can string it together, then there's probably like 8 guys there that you're really confident in terms of if Tim Kelly can piece it together, if Harley can give you a good 20 touches, Graham, Baker, and then if Waterman can kick you 4 or 5 every week, then I don't know.
It's gonna be hard for him, West Coast. It's with that new coach, you almost get worse for a year, and West Coast felt like the last couple of seasons they were close to starting the growth up the ladder, but it feels like this is like a stagnating year where they're probably going to win the spoon.
Likely.
Speaking of piecing things together, those Melbourne Dees.
Is there?
Did you watch it and just think you're watching Barcelona? They were just tiki-taka.
I watched it and all I thought the whole game was this sucks. This actually sucks.
I was actually watching local football this weekend, so I didn't see a lick of this game.
I'll send you some highlights. I'll send you some clips because they were just working the football around by hand like it was Barcelona. It was tiki-taka. And they mesmerised the Freo midfield and defence. They did a number on the midfield. Obviously, Freo, it's their one wood is dominating clearance, and the D's just went to work with that. Jack Viney stood along Sarong, negated his influence. And then the smaller forward line, which that screenshot went massive on Twitter. Obviously, the names that we put out on the park in Turner, Tholstrop, Spargo, Chandler.
It's 2013 Bulldogs era.
And Fullerton.
Sort of
Big Fullers. But it was about how they played from a method perspective. It wasn't about the personnel. And they just went out and hunted. They had 27 inside 50 tackles to Freo's 4. And it was the best pressure we've seen for 18 months from the Melbourne Footy Club. And it felt like they got their identity back by bashing aside, but also being able to capitalise going the other way. So it was a great day at the MCG.
You know who you shut down, which I think is really important to beating Fremantle? Obviously, it's great when you shut down the mids. Josh Tracy.
Yeah.
I thought you did a really good job on Josh Tracy.
So our man, you're a believer of the big man Petty.
Massive believer.
So he's been in better form in defence this year after having a horrendous season
I've been saying it to you for a couple of years now.
Horrendous season. So
You got to back me.
So going into this game, though, we made a flip. So we put Disco Turner in defence and Petty forward. Petty kicks 4 in the forward line, and Disco Turner did well in defence, but Disco Turner went out with concussion, which meant it was Tom McDonald taking on Tracy and Jai, never a miss. And we didn't flip Petty back. So it was Tom McDonald who stayed on Tracy for the rest of the game and kept him to 1 goal. And it was almost brave from the coach's box not to flip Petty back, because that would have been the thought I would have thought.
I would have done it. I love him back.
Yeah.
It's great.
4-piece though, little 4-piece
Yeah.
combo.
So, unarguable.
Side of fries, large
Unarguable.
Coke.
Like, well done, Pets, but I love him back.
And then I feel like we got to talk about Kozzy Pickett.
Is it the best game he's ever played?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because he's kicked 6 before against Port and put on a clinic, but this was a midfield clinic. Like
he knew he had to show his new teammates
Yeah.
what was going on.
Yeah, and that's why it was funny. When he kicked his 5th, he was like sticking it up. I think it was Draper.
Hit someone with the peace sign.
Yeah, he hit Draper with the peace sign and then celebrated hard in front of the Freo cheer squad. I'm like, I'm not sure you want to do that in front of your new team. But 5 goals from the midfield. He had 24 touches. He looks like Cyril. He sits on people's heads. He chases. He hunts. He's got that midfield craft that some small forwards don't. And if he plays like this for the rest of the year, he's just going to that next level.
So just briefly on this, what would you be happy with in return for Kozzy? Because he's going. He's gone.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yep.
So what are you content with in return?
Well, he's contracted, which helps us because we've got the leverage. He's irreplaceable. We're not going to get. I won't see another Kozzy Pickett in my forward line for 20 years. So, like that 2 to 3 rounder conversation isn't like crazy, but I would prefer to get a player back. I don't know.
Yeah, player and a pick.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. You know, there's rumours about Luke Jackson. He came out and said he's pretty settled in WA. Obviously went home a couple of years ago, but I would want a player back.
I wonder who it is, though, because I just looked through the list and I just don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, that would satisfy. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's going to be a huge loss and a massive gain for Freo, and it's what they needed because Shea Bolton tried to carry the side, but he was sort of a one-man band on the weekend as well.
Not a massive win. It was a horrible game. Crows Giants.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
shocker.
Anyone watch it? To be honest,
I put it on
Oh, I didn't.
and then you don't see a goal for 45 minutes and you turn it off.
Was it wet?
Well, it
Rained later in the game or
Not
something?
wet enough for that scoreline. From mine.
Is that just 2 defences going to work?
well, Giants kicked 4-10 for the whole game,
I don't know
so I don't know if it's defenses or just poor forward craft.
because it's just the complete opposite of everything we've seen for the last
From both those sides.
18 months, but just in football.
Yeah.
Like
Like
scoring's going back
Phil
up.
Thorpe 1-3, Rankin 1-2, Cadman 3 behinds, Jordan Dawson, Zach Taylor 2 behinds.
We could have had one of the great shootouts.
And it was just so fucking boring.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Crows maintain a good position. 5th on the ladder. 4 wins. Yes, 4 wins.
You know what really didn't help the Giants? Toby Green didn't get firing.
Mm.
Yeah, he kicked it behind and had 13 touches.
Unlucky Tobes. Got to do better, brother. But this is the AIA Magnet of the Week game. Unless we want to go to Daicos, so we can do a vote if we want. Lockie Whitfield, 39 disposals. Or did Daicos have 38 or 39?
Yeah,
38.
38.
So, you know,
Lockie Whitfield's got it. I reckon if you get the most touches for the round.
are we
you'd be-
back on that?
Yeah, massively.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Because you're the ball magnet, but you actually came 4th in most touches for the round. It's like, nah.
I don't know why we ever changed it.
Tommy had the influence.
Tommy, you're a fucking flop, mate.
I reckon we'll vote on it if there's a draw ever.
Yeah.
If there's a
again.
draw, then we have a vote.
But if there's like a 5 possession gap, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But Lockie Whitfield is our man for the
Absolutely.
Yeah, technically,
Did who was round 1? Josh Kelly or Lockie Whitfield?
Josh Kelly.
Man, the Giants boys accumulating.
They've been able to do it for years and years. 39 disposals,
Can't get
27
4 points,
kicks.
though. It's not about touches.
He only had 2 tackles. He had 8 intercept possessions, 3 score involvements, 10 marks, 2 clearances for the boy. So it's a weird sort of game. But dominated fantasy, which is the
Yeah.
most important stat in football.
Not the
143.
fantasy.
Played a weird game at Adelaide Oval.
Not
So.
the fantasy. And then Saturday evening. This was awesome to see. Richmond with another huge win over who were the top of the table.
The Tigs tickle the Suns.
How good.
Dimmer still can't win at Marvel.
Yeah, Damien Hardwick hates Marvel Stadium.
Which is it's ridiculous. So, mate, you leave.
He can't
then the
win
Tigers
at the
get
car
up.
park.
One of the best coaches of the modern era is like 1 win and 9 losses at Marvel in his last 10 games.
Just awesome. I am so bullish on the Tigers. And this isn't going to happen week after week. But if they can do that, if they can scraggle? Is that the word? Struggle? If they can produce 5 wins in 2025, what a success.
And they're going to, it seems like. And you kept mentioning a name for weeks, and I had no idea he was even a footballer, but he actually played well on the weekend. Jonty Fall. He sort of throws himself. Harry Armstrong was out. I don't think I noticed him. But
Jonty Fall
like,
had a great first quarter.
They've had a great crop. I know we're all singing the praises of Lawler and Smiley and Houghton and whatnot, but what they did in the back end of that first round with Armstrong and Jonty Fall is really impressive. And yeah, he's a big size, competes, and I thought he was good on the weekend.
I'm on a new bloke, and I've been quiet about it in the last couple of
wow.
weeks.
Tigers.
But, yeah, Tigers.
Can we try and guess?
Yeah.
Is it like one of their little nippy small forwards?
Yeah.
Greeny?
No.
Campbell?
Seth Campbell.
Yeah. I mean, Seth Campbell's been great all year.
Seth Campbell's been putting goals on the board
Yeah, he has.
in games where they still get blown out, but he'll put 2 3-piece combos in game after game. Sethy Campbell, and then
Ultimate box.
he was cooking something when he kicked one from outside 50, and he just cooked up a nice little 4-pointer for the Tigers.
Do you reckon we can get some grilled in here at some point?
Oh,
I reckon we should. Well, Grilled's never open when we record at 9 in the morning.
Surely you can just give him the
I'll
buzz.
open the doors. I got the key.
You got the keys. Key to Swan Street Grilled. The guys that did step up, I thought Taranto and Hopper, just
They're starting to carry the responsibility
Tails
really well.
hinge match. I got a hinge match.
What?
Tails, we are fucking on fire.
1 second you're talking about Taranto. The next second
we're on fire.
the next
You're
second
a
it's
match
Mitch.
on Hinge.
It's Mitch Hinge.
Yeah. Sorry, continue. But I just had to mention it because you got one, I
Yeah.
got one. We're just
Yeah, Shay messaged me on Tinder, so that's beautiful. Now, moving on to the next game, Sydney, Port Adelaide. I don't know why, but I had a sneaky suspicion that Port were going to do a number on the Swannies.
Because I think in the last 15 games, Port Adelaide have only lost 1 to the Swans, and it was the prelim. Like Port Adelaide have the wood over the Sydney Swans. What a weird matchup. What a
Port
weird.
Adelaide are good.
They're unbelievably good.
Port Adelaide are good.
No.
Yeah.
No, you know what it is.
They lost to the Saints at home.
No,
True.
but
And then we lost to the Dogs.
And then they lost to
by
the
80.
Pies by 80.
you know what it is with Port? It's just they can never time their run for the end.
Yeah.
They win heaps of games at the start, and everyone's like, holy shit, like, power, they're the real deal. And then it just sort of comes to the back end. They get all these injuries. A few players get suspended, and then you're like, gee, it's going to be hard for them to get through all these finals. And, yeah, they just end up falling at the last hurdle. But, I mean, Willie Rioli, Mitch Georgiadis, he's just a gun.
He's a gun.
He's
He's a
just a
gun.
gun.
And you know what he does? He goes stone cold face. He gives you no smiles, no frowns. If he kicks 4, he's like, that was good. I kicked 4 goals.
Mitch Georgiadis is almost like Aaron Norton, but can get on the scoreboard a little bit more accurately. Like
Yeah.
Mitch Georgiadis throws himself at contests, really athletic.
He's what Bailey Fritsch wishes he was.
And you know what Mitch Georgiadis does? He doesn't do any second efforts. He gets it all done in the one effort.
I'm off him. What did you think about the kid throwing the poster at Allir?
Well, I don't know.
He's a young kid.
Nah, it's not even young. I don't quote me on this, but I don't like even bringing this to light. But I believe he is disabled.
Yeah,
I believe the young kid was disabled. It doesn't matter. It's not on. You can't do it. But
They had him in a holding cell.
did they actually?
They had him in a holding cell.
It's just.
I think it went a bit too far because obviously, he did the wrong thing and should get taken out of the
Yeah,
SCG, and But then straight away there was reports, police and criminals, and he's being investigated. It's like, well, what are we doing?
Allir did the right thing.
Yeah, pulled him up, said, "Come on, buddy."
Oh,
so
no, don't do that.
But I just I think it's a bit different
Yeah, 100%.
to some other situations. However, my man Kane Farrell, so good.
It's so strange that we all love the movie Moneyball,
Great film.
where they get the cheaper options that have specific skill sets and bring them into the side. And Kane Farrell was a mature age.
It's a good question. I'm not actually
They
sure.
had it's him or another one, but it's just funny that a Dan Houston, who's a premium product, a blue chip player, but you can have other players. You can give up Dan Houston to get other assets in, knowing that you got a Kane Farrell on the side that has a similar skill set.
I love him. He had 26. Zach Butters and Rosie did their job as well. Horn Francis keeps just getting better and better and better.
What's going on with the Swans?
Yeah, they've left me scratching my head a bit. It's I don't know what to think of. Yeah,
Chad Warner.
I'm a little bit lost, to be honest.
Chad Warner trade
it
value week by week.
It
is
feels
doing
like
this.
it's just that new coach for the year, isn't it? It's like that new coach year where you get used to a different voice.
Potentially, but why is Will Hayward having 9 disposals? Why is that happening? Braden Campbell, 0-2.
Can we just give a little shout out to Aaron Francis, who nearly put the whole of
He went beast
the
mode.
Swans on his back and said, boys, this last quarter's all mine.
Yeah.
Kicking 3-1 in the last as a super sub.
I stuffed it up. That was Corey Warner. Sorry, Chad. Sorry.
Corey, Chad had 21.
He did. My fault.
He had 21 and a point.
Hopefully West Coast aren't looking at Corey's stats.
What are the Warner's parents doing? 2 C's, really? You're making it difficult.
Apparently the next one's the best one.
And his TSA as well? Is that buddy,
Yeah, I assume it's
Ches.
Caden Warner.
Chesil, Charlie? Far out.
Jaden Warner.
Gatos.
Need to figure it out. Yeah, Swannies. They've been dominated in grand finals.
They'll make the 8, but they won't do anything this season.
Do you reckon?
You heard it here first. The
Where are
Swans
they?
will not achieve anything this season.
Well, they have currently got 2 wins on the board from 6 games.
That's horrid.
That is bad. But I am actually genuinely bullish on Port Adelaide Power.
Yeah, yeah. They could build and have it click for them.
They need to score. They need to score more.
They've been thereabouts every year, so it just wouldn't surprise me if they can find that next evolution. You know,
Do it for Ken.
I'd love Ken to win one.
I don't. Yeah, we don't have to talk about Bulldogs St Kilda. But,
I'd happily like to talk about the Western Bulldogs game.
It was a thumping. It started to rain snags towards the end.
In the Bible, the New Testament, where Jesus on the 3rd day rises. Marcus Bontempelli, 6 weeks later,
He's
rises
back.
to the occasion.
I was made into a fool.
He 30 touches, 2 goals.
Do you have 30?
He had 30.
Yeah,
in
30.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he
He
had a
had
30
20 at
piece.
half time.
What he does, mate.
And then he goes, you know what? I'll sit deep forward and just have an extra 10 in the second half.
We dominated in the first 10 minutes.
It is. And I'm going to start a new segment, and it's called Taylor Time.
Wow.
And I'm just going to bring to light for you one big topic, and this big topic is, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but
Will do.
I still think the Western Bulldogs on paper and for the next couple of years will have the best midfield in the AFL. So hear me out.
Goodness gracious me.
Well, in the next couple of years is an interesting little caveat you've put there because Libba is quite old and Treloar's quite
So
old.
currently, our midfield stands at Liberatore, Bontempelli, Riley Sanders,
Fraser's
Matt
still
Kennedy,
got plenty of use in
Fraser,
there as well.
Bailey Dale's been running through there. Ed Richards has been running through there. So Bailey Dale and Riley Sanders both had 32 touches on the weekend. Riley
Bailey
Sanders
Dale.
was instrumental, kicked a goal. Bailey Dale was just doing God's work off the halfback, doing what Caleb Daniel used to do, and now it's just him playing that role. Bailey Williams playing on a wing. He could go to halfback. He can go to half forward. He's been such a selfless player. Bontempelli comes back in like he never left. 2 goals, 30 touches. So just like influential, just so smooth. He just operates with the footy so well. And then it allows Libba to go in and do the hard work like he was doing the last few weeks when he wasn't there. But he just had a bit more responsibility with the fact that the Bont wasn't playing. But for the Bont to be back, Libba chasing down Brad Hill on the wing, like that's just the stuff that the little things. Like I don't know, and I could be wrong, but I don't know if Libba would have wanted to try and chase down Bradley Hill 3 weeks ago because he's got so much work cut out for him. That's one little thing that he just probably didn't want to do. But now that he's got a bit more time to go in and put his head over the footy, all I'm saying is that's just it's the little things.
It is a bit of a watch this space.
It
I
is
like
a bit
the
of a
Dogs.
watch this space, and we've still got Adam Treloar to add to that.
Come
midfield.
back in, Jamara Ugle-Hagen to come
Good
back
depth.
in.
Like you can see who's coming through. They've just had like a surplus of midfielders for years. Like they've lost Bailey Smith, Josh Dunkley, and it
McRae.
doesn't seem to McRae. It doesn't seem to have impacted them
We
because
just manufacture midfielders.
And
Yeah.
you know,
Just
speaking
pump
of,
them out.
someone that I was really impressed with that didn't get the CBAs that he did because Bont's come back in, you know, it was kind of a question of who's going to lose out on CBAs? Who's going to start, when Bont comes back and Treloar comes back, who's going to get pushed out and not be playing any inside footy anymore? So I think it's Sam Davidson that's moved out, and obviously that was he's kind of a placeholder. But I was so impressed with Sam Davidson, who is obviously plays as a midfielder, has played as a midfielder until he's been picked up by the Dogs and come in now. He's been pushed out. I think he played a fair bit of wing and half forward. He's gone and had 21 on 81% efficiency and had 10 score involvements in a position that I don't know if it's natural for him, but it seems like he can play anywhere. I was there at the game. I'm a Saints supporter, but Sam Davidson was awesome.
With a bloke that's also getting less time in the midfield, and it's probably because he's a little bit older as well, Matt Kennedy.
Yeah.
Carlton must be pulling their hair out that they got rid of him. Because I'm loving every moment of Matt Kennedy down at the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah.
He fits in so well at the kennel.
Yeah, he's just he's almost like a George Hewitt type, which is quite funny. Where he's played, so much AFL footy. He's got the body, he's got the frame, he's ready to go. And when you can get him for basically nothing, he just adds to your depth. Just such a strong boy.
With the Sainers, I hate potting the Sainers.
I don't like potting the Sainers.
I like
either.
potting the Sainers.
I really like them as a football club.
But it was a whole team thing. No one really stood up, barring Wilkes and Wanganeen, and
so great win.
Quite frustrated.
Great win at Adelaide Oval. You beat the Power, who we've sort of all agreed are a pretty good side.
We beat the Cats.
Beat the Cats. So that's 2 games I probably would have expected you guys to drop. But then the Giants and the Bulldogs.
It was okay. That was a mulligan for the Saints, the GWS game.
True, it was. We gave it a mulligan.
This was not, though. This was not
bad.
at all. This was really bad. And what I'm starting to become really frustrated with is Jack Steele. And the reason I'm getting frustrated is because you know who Jack Steele is and what he can do. The man's been top 5 in the Brownlow twice, I believe. So it's not frustrated because, he is playing a little poorly, but I'm frustrated because I know what he can do and how good he can be, and it's just not happening. And it just didn't really get clicking for anyone else. I also want to say that Brad Hill's going to cop it this week a lot, and he cops it a shit ton from Saints supporters, which is really rough.
Well, it's unfair.
It is unfair how much he cops.
Unfair.
And he's going to cop a lot of it. So if you're thinking about sending Brad Hill a DM, don't, because he's already got a lot.
Send your DM to me, and
Send
I'll
it to
fucking
Tails.
deal with it.
Anyway, boys, we did have a DM throughout the week
Oh.
to give some predictions, which we haven't done, like predictions for the week following.
Let's shout out the name as well, because I know.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, we'll give her a cheeky one. Haley Lads.
Haley, thank you so much for your feedback. And we probably should be doing predictions for the week following anyway. I know.
But it's the Monday Magnets and it's hard to forecast.
It is hard to forecast.
We don't know
It is
the ins and outs.
That's right.
And we still got a game this round to go.
So that's what we're going to go to before we get to next round. Is today is Monday. It is currently 10:23, but Geelong Hawks are playing today at 3:20. So it's still in the round, so we can't really review it. But lads, do we want to give our opinions, thoughts? Before I go quickly, actually Hawthorn in the 2s, big win over the Cattery at GMHBA. Jack Ginnivan kicked 4, but Sam Butler back from his tib, fib and ankle break kicked 4.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Brother-in-law.
Cats Hawks tonight. We got 5 hours till game time. Who gets up?
Cats by 10.
Hawks by 20.
Hawks by 30. 10, 20, 30. Just bring it in. We love
like
that.
it.
But we will go to round 7. It's flying by. Seriously flying by.
The season's over.
Ep 11.
Season's over.
It truly is pumping, and we're only up to bloody round 3 at Wattle Park.
I know.
I am pumped though, boys. This is irking me. We've got to be quick. We've got to wrap this up. But this is irking me. Collingwood Essendon Anzac Day is not the only game on that day.
Yeah, they've done that. I think
They did it this week.
I hate that WA is getting a game on these really
8-10.
traditional days.
8-10.
I like
and
it.
Collingwood Essendon is not the only game on the day. I don't like it. I don't like it because that's
That's
the game.
that's
Yeah.
the tradition, and it's Yeah, it's
People
the game
have-
that stops the nation.
People have gatherings around this game. I'm going to a gathering on Friday evening to watch this game. It's a yearly thing we do. So that's frustrating me a little bit, but whatever. 7:30 p.m. on
the Queen's
Thursday
birthday
evening.
to watch the Kings.
The D's by 15.
That was the Kings, whatever. The King.
The D's by 15.
Richmond by 10.
No.
I think there's some momentum at Punt Road.
That would be bad.
So does this game just chop and change, does it? Whatever they want to label it.
No, King's birthday is Collingwood and Melbourne at round 13.
Whatever.
That's the Freeze M&D game.
Oh.
And Melbourne Richmond is Anzac Day Eve.
Sorry, Neil.
Yeah.
Oh, Neil. Yeah, fuck it. I'll go on the Tigers. I hate the D's.
Oh,
Tigers by... They're paying at $3.80. Tigers by 28.
you're kidding yourself.
Oh, 28.
I might be.
Fuck.
I might be.
28.
But I'm putting something out there. I'm trying something. Anzac Day, Collingwood, Essendon.
Collingwood by 36.
I think it's Collingwood by 30.
I'm going to say it's a ball burst. I'm going to say Collingwood by 9.
Jeez, I just don't know where Essendon are going to find the strength after last week.
I actually really like this round of footy, though. Freo Crows at Optus.
Oh, Jesus.
Easier to say the Crumb.
Traveling's so weird, though. Like, I'm going to go the Dockers by 8.
Crom by 20.
I'm only going to say this because I've got Freo for the flag. Freo by 12.
They got to bounce back, the Dockers.
Saints Lions. We're going to get
Lions by 60.
at Marvel. We're paying $2.60 to be fair.
Saints by 4.
Come on.
Saints by
We've actually had the wood over the lines a little bit, so I'm going to say St Kilda by 40.
Wow.
Kilda by 40. Okay.
Port North at Adelaide Oval.
Port.
North by 6.
See, this is why we shouldn't be doing these, isn't
This is what you've started,
I
Ailey.
think it's
it?
We've got no
I think
clue.
it's Port by 40.
I've got Port by 60. GWS Western Bulldogs at Manuka.
GWS by 6.
You hate travelling to Canberra.
This is one of the biggest rivalries in the AFL.
True.
Oh, true.
And they're
One of the
playing it in
biggest-
Canberra.
Feisty.
Biggest modern rivalries, and Jake Stringer's going to be into the boys, and he's going to be
Oh, no.
furious, and he's
I hate doing that.
Dogs by 3 goals.
Giants by 3 goals.
Fuck yeah.
I think I did first. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Can't remember what I said.
Sorry, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Suns Swans at People's First, which we love that stadium. Great
Suns
people there.
by 31.
Suns by 70. What's his name? Ben King? He kicks 10.
Yeah, well, I put him for 3, and
He'll be the first one
only
to kick
kicked
10
one and
this
had 3
season.
touches the other day. Suns by 30. Carlton Cats at the G.
Carlton by 22 points.
I don't want to tip him, but Geelong by 35.
Yeah, I hate tipping them. Geelong by 16. And then finishing off the round,
That's the
Hawks
longest
West
round
Coast.
ever.
Yeah.
Hawks win by 100 plus.
Hawks by 66.
Hawks by 80.
Love it. Hawks
think,
by
yeah.
100.
Well, I'm keen to... we got to write that down because I'm keen to circle back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next
we'll
episode.
circle back.
We'll circle back.
We'll circle it back. And I'll circle it up and we'll circle it back.
Beautiful.
Lads, thank you so much.
Oh.
Well done.
Thank
you.
This was a bit of a strange ep. I'm going to have you guys aren't going to know, but there's been a couple of bits where I'm going to have to chop and change. We're
Oh,
going to
yeah,
have
I
to cut
thought
this
there
up a little
was
bit.
plenty. that
We
you-
don't. There's been episodes in Monday Magnets that I have not edited a piece,
It's just been raw.
and it's been seriously raw.
Nothing but raw.
I'm going to have to cut up a couple of things.
Yeah, we've been a bit naughty today.
We've been a little
Yeah,
bit
we have been naughty.
X-rated.
And that's okay.
That's fine. Thank you so much, Dos. Feeling happy?
Happy, of course. Dee's got up. It's a day off today, so probably won't do much work. Don't have to go into the office.
Not
so-
from McCabe. It's not.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to watch
Wrestlemania.
Randy Orton and Luka Doncic today.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
30, so I probably won't do that.
All right. Thank you, boys. Thank you all again.
Thank you, mate.
Episode 11. We'll be back next Monday. Oh my God.